Hey, mighty peeps. I want to know, have you made one of these six fairly common email marketing mistakes? Chances are, at one point in time, if you've had an email list, if you've used email marketing at all in your small business, you've probably made one of these mistakes. I know that I have, and that's why I'm talking to you, because I want to make sure that you learn that A, the mistakes are common, and B, we can avoid them. And sure, there's probably more than six out there. But these six I want you to know and learn from right now. Look, email is a powerful, awesome marketing tool. And yes, I truly believe that every size and type of business benefits from having their own email list. You've heard me say email lists are an asset that your business owns, not like the rental property out there that the shifting sands of social media are built on. Social media, it can be awesome for all kinds of things and driving traffic and engagement and listening to people and doing research. Email is an asset your business owns. And also truly believe that email marketing and starting your list, doing the marketing, solving the email software is something that every small business and every solopreneur can do. You can get over that and you can get out there, and email marketing can become easy and a mighty marketing tool for you. Whether you're one of my friends who's a consultant and that you talk to folks in the executive levels of larger businesses, or you're a writer, or you're an editor, if you're a personal coach, a fitness coach, a health and wellness coach, a yoga instructor, if you are teaching graphic arts, if you are a graphic arts person and a designer, every small business I know can benefit from email marketing. And most of them have probably made one of these six mistakes that I'm going to talk about here. I'm Jennifer Burke, I'm Mighty Marketing Mojo, and all this week I'm talking about email marketing tips in these training videos. I'm talking about email marketing all month, in fact, because I'm going to be launching a brand new course. Hell yeah, you can start your email list, because I want to make sure that you get over any tech troubles that have been keeping you from building your business's best asset, your own email list. So let's go over these six mistakes and how you can avoid them. And knowing that will put you ahead of so many other business owners and emailers. So, tip number one, and this is where, you know what, I should create banners for this. Tip number one is be mobile friendly. Because I bet a lot of you are going to possibly be watching this video even on mobile. Most people today, they read or at least they skim their emails on mobile devices. I mean, let's face it, folks, Gmail is probably the number one, it's one of the apps that I use most on my own phone, but the same for you. Um, but tiny, tiny, tiny little screens to read those things on. So the question is, are your emails easy to read on a phone? Does the text break in the right spots? What do your graphics look like? Yes, you do want to use some graphics in your email. There was this push a number of years ago. I'm like, oh my God, don't use graphics. Make it be more personal. Make it be friendly. Make it look like you sent it to them on a one-on-one and it's all text. Yeah, we've swung the other way, and the research and the deliverability actually shows that having some graphics in your emails will help them to be clicked and read, but you don't want to stack them with so much graphics. And these overly designed graphic newsletters of the 90s or the 2000s, those are out as well. The main other thing, if you're going to use graphics, make sure those photos files aren't too big. You want the photos to load easily and quickly. That's part of being mobile friendly. Use the built-in tools to preview your emails in desktop versus mobile when you're writing them. Your email marketing software should absolutely have that built in. I've seen it in Aweber. I've seen it in ActiveCampaign. Pretty sure I remember seeing it in MailChimp. It's going to be there because they want to make sure that you're writing clear and easy to read emails as well. Make sure that if you've chosen any templates, in the very beginning of when you do your email setup that you've got mobile responsive templates, that you might want to consider, like I said, not using all text that's in a hard to read font either. Some folks are still in the, I'm going to make everything look like it was written almost on a typewriter, and it's like Times New Roman and it's serif. There are fonts that are harder to read on computer screens than they are on a printed page. You want to make sure you're using something that's comfortable and easy to read for the computer screen, which your mobile devices are. You want to keep your formatting to a minimum. You don't want lots of wild colors in your headlines. You don't want lots of colors in the subjects. You want to keep things fairly minimal. Call attention where it needs to. Bold something if you need to make it bigger if you need to, but by all means, be mobile friendly and be easy to read. That should be tip number 1. That's a fairly easy thing that we can do with the email software that's out there. So number 2, I've got to create another banner for this. So 2 is make it, easy to unsub. So I'm going to add that banner. I'm going to show that banner. So something that we've often done, the mistake that I've seen, and this hasn't come up as much with the folks that I work with one-on-one, or a lot of the other coaches that I follow, they're pretty good about this, but I have seen this more than enough times, that a business owner and an email marketer makes it too hard to unsubscribe from a list. And there's a couple things that could be going on. We get so caught up when people leave our lists. We worked really hard to get somebody to join our list. But first of all, not everybody is a good fit. And you don't want the folks who aren't resonating with you. If they aren't resonating with you, they're not likely to be buying from you, and you want them to gladly, easily leave. You wave them goodbye and you wish them well. You don't actually have to physically do any of those things. It's what's going on in your head. You want them to unsubscribe. You want the people who aren't a good fit for you and are never going to buy from you to unsubscribe. If I were to accidentally sign up for a free gift for dog toys because it promised me really pictures of lots of really cute floofy dogs, to be perfectly honest, I shouldn't be on that list. I might like dogs, but I don't have one. So I'm never going to be the one who wants a bunch of emails about dog beds and this is the next chew toy. Make sure you don't get this bone. Make sure you get this kind of color. No, you want me to unsubscribe from your list, because otherwise I'm just going to keep deleting them and I'm never going to click and I'm never going to read. And that's going to both hurt your stats and it's going to hurt your business. So there are other less scrupulous folks out there, business owners, who make it hard to find the unsubs link. It is illegal. It's against the CAN-SPAM Act to hide an unsub link or to not have an unsubscribe link in every single email. It's also unethical to make them really hard to find or to make them be too many hoops to jump through. For example, you do not want to have to make people reply or send emails to some other address with the words unsubscribe in the subject. That basically also kind of voids the purpose of the regulations in the CAN-SPAM Act. No, you use a good, reputable email marketer that puts that unsub link clearly in the bottom of every email. You can't touch it. You can't do anything about it. It's always going to be there. You can put language in there, something along the lines of, for example, if you're using a list and it's the same list that you send your product updates and you say, hey, I added something to the training that you bought. Hey, I added something to the coaching program. Hey, I added something. You can put something that says, look, if you unsubscribe from my list entirely, you're not going to get those updates. There are ways you can handle having separate lists for customers and prospects so that somebody doesn't leave entirely and miss out on something that they purchased. But you can't go hiding the unsubscribe link. And don't hide it because you think it's going to make it so that nobody ever leaves your list and you don't ever have to deal with the pain of unsubscribes. Remember, we want the folks who aren't the right fit for us, we want to release them. Okay? So, another one. Next, number 3, making a new banner here. 3, send valuable content. See, this is one of the, I had all kinds of calls today, so I didn't do all of my prep in advance, but we're doing this right now. So I'm going to send valuable content. So the mistake is in not sending valuable content. And this is related to one of the other mistakes that I see. You need to know that you're using email like other forms of marketing. It's about relationship building. Some people will even say, relationship marketing. You are building know, like, trust. KLT, know, like, trust. People have to know who you are. People have to like who you are. People have to trust you before they buy or repeat buy from you. And yes, we are running a business. We are making offers. We are selling things. But ultimately, that business success is based on KLT, know, like, trust, and relationships. One of the best ways we do that is we are sending valuable, useful information in our email marketing. Have a conversation. You're writing to a friend. Always strive to send that friend, that keep in mind that one person that you're talking to via your email, you're sending them something useful, you're sending them valuable information. And yes, your offers can be useful content too. But think about, and sometimes the useful part also comes down to, can I read this? Does it make sense? Does it flow through? Are they going to get the useful bits out of it? Here's a confession. I have at times in the years that I've been out there doing email as part of my marketing been known to cram way too much into every single email. They're long. In fact, I've had several people compliment me on the blog posts that I send them every week. I'm like, dude, those aren't blog posts. That's an email. Clearly, maybe it should have been a blog post that I then sent you an email to go check out. It would be perhaps more useful to you on my Mighty Marketing Mojo list if my emails were shorter and more succinct. That's part of the valuable content part. So think about that. So, and then I'll tie that back up in a second. So 4 is use stats. So the mistake, it helps. I have to show the banner. You want to make sure that you're avoiding the mistake of not using your numbers and your statistics to improve. Marketing is about learning and adjusting. I had a conversation just this morning where we talked about the fact that things like a landing page and a sales page, all part of marketing, they are living things in many ways. They are never quite done, and we have to constantly tweak them to try and improve them and make them better. The same with our email. We're learning and we're adjusting. We adjust the automations that we run. We adjust our welcome series. Email is not ever going to be set it and forget it. In fact, that's true of all marketing. You can't set it and forget it. The other thing is I want to maybe absolve you of any fears that you're having is that you are not out there comparing yourself to other benchmarks. I am not going to tell you that there is a good, open rate, a good, other rate. It varies. So much it varies. It varies in benchmarks across industries over time. You may not be like everybody else in your industry, but you're going to have some commonalities. And things change. The main thing to know is I want you to go out and I want you to compare yourself to yourself over time. And are you improving? Are your stats improving? And think about why or why not. And it's not a personal thing. It's not personal, folks. It's not that, I wrote a bad email. No, don't get hung up on the open rates or even your click-through rates. Think about what's good for you. Are you doing better in some ways in 2020 than in 2019? Yes, external factors, 2020. We all know that. Look, also, was July better than June? What do you think you could change in the next 30 days that's going to make it better than the last 30 days or 30 days a year ago? What are your people responding to? Look for patterns in the subject lines and the structure or the content of an email that gets a lot of opens and a lot of clicks. And that's probably something that they want more of. Can you duplicate that? Can you do that again? And use all the tools that are built into your email marketing software to help you track, tweak, and test. Things you're looking for are things like A/B or split testing. With Active Campaign, and Active Campaign makes it fairly easy for me to set up and test 2 different subject lines. So in fact, I ran some tests, I think last spring, and I told my list that I was in my email community. I said, I'm going to run some tests and I want to see what you respond to, because that's what I do. I teach all the behind the scenes parts of marketing and how to. And so I was actually testing whether a statement or a question about the exact same topic worked better as a subject line. And I did it for several different weeks. And now you could say that I introduced some new variables in it because I use a different subject line every time I test it. But I test it. And for example, I'd say that, if I remember correctly, for several weeks in a row, the version that ActiveCampaign would send out and would see who's opening, it would randomly assign to people in my email community which subject line they got. And then it would track what they opened and clicked. And questions. If I asked the subject in a question, it tended to perform better. I'm like, great, I'm going to use questions more often. Over time, that changes. So I have to test again. But in almost all cases, the software is set up to make it easy for you to get that kind of data so that you can get better. There are software tools out there that are free for headline analysis, where you can put something in before you even put it into your email software and say, hey, what could I do to make this better and more intriguing, more engaging, more likely to get a click? There's tons of examples out there that you can use. Use those to see if you're getting better versus what you're sending out. This one is, let's see, this one's number 25. No, let's see, change it. Not only send promos. So this is related to when I said that we want to send valuable content. We don't want to just hammer on our email communities with promotions and promotions and launch after launch after launch after launch and trying to make quick money, because that's not always the way to a long-term success or relationship building. And the people who are doing nothing but big launches and nothing but quick money offers all the time, here's the hard truth. They tend to burn through and chew up their email lists pretty quickly, which means they have to constantly be out there list building and adding huge numbers to make up for everybody who leaves because they didn't buy that thing or that thing or that thing, or they got annoyed and they left. And, I get frustrated when I get a good free gift from somebody and I got an interesting welcome email or a welcome email series, and I was intrigued to learn from somebody. That's why I joined their list. And yes, learning from them might mean taking the training or a course, but I want to see what are they teaching me? What am I going to get from this person? And then every single email after that was selling a training or a webinar, or it's promoting the webinar that leads to the training, and that training we all know leads to some other high dollar next level training, and I never got the tips. Where are the tips? Where are the stories? It's even left me wondering, who the fuck is this person even? I've definitely left some lists lately where I'm like, I got on from an event and it was a good gift, and they skipped the part that told me who they were and their backstory and why I care. And I don't care. So I'm gone. And you know what? They're probably sitting there going, hey, that's great. You left my list. We didn't resonate. Woo, bless you and release you and all that. And I'm like, actually, I think I might have been a good person for your list, but I wouldn't know because you did nothing but promote to me all the time. Now, here's a caveat. One of the best lists I've been on this person. He's from England. Ian Brody. I think he's even written a number of things and free guides and some courses about email. And I've been on Ian's list for years, and he emails consistently, and he promotes in every email. So how's that working? Well, he tells a story. He gives an example, short examples. He shares a tip, and then he makes a soft sell, low key pitch for something in every email. Now, the offer could be sometimes it's another free gift. Sometimes it's a call. Sometimes it's an event. Yes, he's done some JV and other partnerships. Most often it's his membership. And he's definitely under the formula of, look, if I'm going to give you this much information out of my brain, this much training, this many tips free, then you know what? My membership that you pay for, you're going to see is really pretty valuable. Because if I'm willing to give you this much free, can you imagine what's inside behind the door? But he does it. He does it consistently. And I never feel like I've wanted to leave because he was promoting to me, because he managed to make that blend. He gave valuable content. I get great tips, I save a ton of his emails, and he promotes. And I'm pretty clear on the membership and the courses that he has. He has a core membership and a couple of core courses, and I know about them because he promotes them low key all the time. I could probably go back to any one of his emails and click the link and find the thing that he's promoting to me, but is there with the rest of the valuable content. So the last tip, number tick that we're going to be, the one we are going to the mistake we're avoiding. Sorry. There we go. We want to be consistent. This may be the top number one email marketing mistake, and the one that I know that I fell into the most when I got started was inconsistency. And it's the one that I see a lot with folks who work one-on-one with people as consultants, as coaches, who they spend so much time and energy working with those clients, working to get them and to have the referrals, and that they think of their email and their email newsletters, and let's face it, their pipeline building is secondary, and it doesn't really become a priority to them until they don't have many clients at a moment, or there's a gap between their clients. Excuse me. And they're the ones that I've seen in many cases be the most inconsistent. And they're like, well, I'm going to email when I feel it, and send a news. Well, that means I might get, a newsletter, once every 3 months, once every 6 months. Folks, if you weren't my friend, I'm not staying on your list waiting for the one moment where totally out of the blue I get an email from you. I'm like, and that's happened with other people who I've joined their lists and I followed along, and they gave some good valuable content, and they had some interesting promotions that I probably clicked through on, and then nada. Now look, I get it, life happens, and there can be some things that derail us and we get off of track. But to build the relationship, to build that trust factor, we need to be consistent, because you work hard to build that list. And then if you are inconsistent, you've let it go cold, and you will have to start all over again. A list that hasn't been emailed to for months or even years, folks, it might as well not even be a list. Because if you email to that list that's so cold, hasn't heard from you in more than 6 months, more than 12 months, more than 18 months, then you're probably going to get a lot of not just unsubs when you send an email, you're going to get a lot of folks marking you as spam, because they truly have no idea why they signed up for your list. They don't remember it because it was so long ago. And the ones who stay are going to be left struggling with that who are you part, and you're going to have to really work hard to build that relationship, where you don't want them to forget about you. You want them to you want to stay top of their mind for you. And it takes time and repetition to build a relationship. Now, I will say that I'm not telling you have to email daily, because dude, I don't email daily. I know lots of folks who do. And that might be an aspiration. If you've gone from not sending any emails to your list for 6 months, you probably do not want to just start in automatically in emailing daily. You're going to burn you out, your list out, and everybody's going like, what is going on? No, you can ramp up to that slowly. I'm telling you, find a schedule you can stick with consistently. And for me, when I changed email services, when I went over to, I had been with Aweber for years, and they had a couple cool tools that I liked, and there was a way to curate content that made things easy. But I was still inconsistent. I was emailing twice a month, sometimes once a month, back to twice a month. Yeah, not quite weekly. When I moved to Active Campaign, I said, no, I'm taking this, I'm learning more things to say. I'm going to be consistent with this. You're going to get a Thursday tips email from me. Sometimes they're really too long and they should probably be multiple emails. Other times it's going to be, here's one tip, here's one story, we're done. I'm out for the week. Then I can add in more emails. Then we could talk about the Monday marketing musings, and we can talk about the other things that are going on Wednesdays or Tuesdays. But it took time and effort and repetition and putting it in my own calendar and scheduling and making the time to be consistent for what I could do. And for me, when I ramped up with Mighty Marketing Mojo, once a week felt like both a stretch for me, but also what I needed to do to be consistent, to make that a habit. So I sit down at the keyboard and we talk and we chat and we incorporate all of those other things and avoid the other mistakes that we've made. And so those are the 6 most common mistakes that I see that I want you to avoid. And I'm also going to, tell you that I'm talking a lot about some of the things that help us get set up and learning our software so we know how to use the stats that are there. Making sure that we've picked the templates so that we are mobile responsive, and what does it mean to double check and to see, is this on the desktop, is this mobile, are we good? To going inside email marketing software. Yes, I'm showing you inside my chosen tool. I've used multiple tools over the years for myself and with clients, and I'm with Active Campaign. But the principles that I'm teaching in my Hell Yeah, You Can Start Your Email List course apply to email marketing and email marketing software overall. You get to have the benefit of sneak peeks inside of my Active Campaign setup, bonus videos, a walkthrough of how I set up my automated welcome series, bonus videos of case studies when I've worked with folks who's gotten their email marketing set up as well. The class goes live. We're going to have the first live sessions of teaching. I'm teaching live. You get to ask all kinds of questions. Whatever's coming up, you get support from me. Starts August 19th. Classes are August 19th and August 20th. And we have a week of homework and doing and demos. And then we come back for lessons 3 and 4 on, I have to go grab my calendar, on September 2nd and 3rd. That's me. 30 days or less, you're getting your email marketing software and systems set up for success. So I'm encouraging you to go check it out if that's something that you need to take this deeper to avoid any of these email marketing mistakes, so that you can feel comfortable in your technology so that you can be consistent. Then I want you to go check that out and see if this training is going to be a good fit for you. And awesome. Oh, just double checking over. Yes. So Erica had mentioned that she'd seen them in white font, so you can't see them. Yes, I've seen people hide things like that. I've seen people hide things on blog pages that used to be a big keyword stuffing thing. You put it in white font so nobody can see it, but it gets scraped. You're like, yeah, no. Don't do that. I also saw, and not from an unethical standpoint, but again, somebody was, pink was their brand color. So all the headlines in their emails were pink, and they had this big swoopy font for their name and their sign off, and it was in pink, and it was incredibly hard to read. There's a thing of taking one's branding maybe a little too far there, but it happens. So these are just some things that I want you to think about. You know about them. They're mistakes that you can easily avoid no matter what email software that you are using. They all have the tools that can help you avoid these mistakes. Pen, paper, calendars, your Google Calendar, Trello, whatever helps you stay organized will help you to stay consistent with your emailing. So hopefully that'll help you to get going. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we are going to have 6 more useful tips for email marketing. On Wednesday, the 12th, we are going to talk about email automation and how that can become basically the team that works for you when you're a solopreneur. Wondering what to say now that you've got your email set up? I'm going to talk ideas about what to say in emails that'll apply no matter what type of business or solopreneur that you are. That'll be on Thursday. And on Friday, a little bit more on first things first, what you need to think about when you are setting up your email to be set up for success. All right, hope to see you on one of the other videos or on the replay for this one. Thank you all for being here and watching. Go out, avoid your mistakes, and go be mighty today and this week. Bye, everybody.